morning, everybody. Thank you for joining us. So my name is Christine Alexis. I'm the social media manager here at DB Schenker. I'm meeting with Mike DiBernardo from the Port of LA, and we are going to be discussing everything ocean with the Port of Los Angeles. Thank you for joining us, Mike.
Thank you, Christine.
So how this works is basically our Facebook followers sent in a few questions for you.
Great.
About the Port of LA, APAC, and any improvements and enhancements happening at the port. So I have a few questions for you. First of all, can you touch on any stats or facts that we should know about the Port of LA?
Well, thank you, Christine, for having the Port of Los Angeles as part of your Facebook Live. We're very excited to be part of this. And almost 40% of the nation's import cargo comes into the San Pedro Bay. And the San Pedro Bay consists of the Port of LA and the Port of Long Beach, which is our neighbor. The Port of LA is part of the state of California. So the state of California entrusted the properties over to the cities, the local cities, to operate for them, the ports of LA and Long Beach, as well as other ports in California. We have 7,500 acres of water, 43 miles of waterfront, and we have a main channel that's minus 53 feet to handle the next generation of ships. We have about 1,600 acres of container terminals, and that consists over 7 container terminals that we have. And those are on long-term leases to customers like Costco, Yang Ming, Evergreen, Maersk, and CMA. We also have agreements with the carriers that, the O&E carriers in their terminals as well. Each of the terminals have on-dock rail capabilities, which is definitely an advantage because that takes truck traffic off the highway and we load it directly onto the rail at the terminals for much more quicker loading and getting off to its destination where it needs to go. We're a diversified port, so not only do we handle containers, we also handle liquid bulk, breakbulk cargo. We have marinas, we have a cruise industry as well, so we do have cruise ships that call here. And we have a fishing industry as well. And we also, as part of the state of California's trust to us, we have a visitor serving area. So we have retail shops, restaurants, and visitor serving areas as well. In 2018, we handled 9.5 million TEUs, the most ever for a port in the United States. So we're very proud of those efforts, and the numbers continue to grow, and we're looking to have a very good year as well for this year. Our top imports that come through the Port of LA are auto parts, garments, electronic goods, as well as footwear. And our top trading partners are China, Japan, Taiwan, as well as South Korea and Vietnam. As far as jobs in Los Angeles, about 148,000 jobs are associated with the port, so the surrounding area of Los Angeles. And then about 1.6 million jobs nationally are associated with the Port of LA. So very important to the national economy as well.
Awesome. So actually, one of our Facebook followers wanted to ask about anything pertaining to future plans, investments, mainly related to APAC. So it's nice that you mentioned China and Taiwan. So.
Yes, exactly. So between the years of 2015 and 2024, the port's spending $2.5 billion on improvements around the port. And that's it has to do with upgrading terminals. So recently we upgraded the Houston terminal that allows for larger ships to bring to their berth. So we upgraded their wharf. We added some additional on-dock rail for them so they have the ability to load more trains. And we are in the process of upgrading the Evergreen Everport terminal with the same sort of thing, deepening or actually deepening their wharf depth as well as upgrading their wharf to handle the next generation of ships. In addition, we plan for APM terminals, which is our largest terminal at 484 acres, the ability for them to have additional storage tracks for their rail so they can arrive and depart trains much more efficiently by doing that. So we plan to add additional on-dock rail, environmental assessments on Costco as well as Yang Ming to do some upgrades to their facilities as well in order to handle the next generation of ships. And we also are doing some roadway enhancements as well to handle the additional volume that we plan to have on our roadways.
Nice. So can you actually discuss big ship readiness? They were inquiring about that as well.
Yes, and that's very important as well. We have terminals that are doing their thing to upgrade facilities as well. For TRAPAC, which is part of the O&E, they raise their cranes in order to handle the next generation of ships. And APM Terminals is also doing the same thing where they're raising their cranes. They're also bringing in new equipment to handle more volume, as well as to meet our environmental initiatives that we have planned. So, as I mentioned earlier, we're doing some berth upgrades to give minus 53 feet for a couple of terminals. A lot of our other terminals already have that. We're also looking to expand our on-dock rail capabilities at a lot of the terminals as well so that they can handle more cargo. Together with the Port of Long Beach, we're actually doing a forecast of rail needs, what we need for on-dock rail, both near and off-dock to handle the next generation or the future volumes that we anticipate. In the next 20 years, we plan to double our volume. So we're using that information in order to help drive what we need to do for the future and what we need to build for the future as well. Right now, there's about 73,000 chassis that are in the San Pedro Bay, and they're spread out over all the different terminals. And in the Port of LA, they take about 80 acres of property. So what we're trying to do is maybe consolidating all those chassis into one centralized location so that the customers can pick up from one location, and that frees up space within the terminals so that the terminals can use that space for container handling and so forth. So we're looking at finding an off-dock yard that we can store chassis and have it as a centralized location. In addition, we have the ability to add some additional land at the port. There are some areas that we can add into the water to create some land space. It gives us much more capabilities as well.
Great. And then do you mind touching on Breakbulk?
Absolutely. So breakbulk cargoes, a lot of the terminals today are able to handle breakbulk cargo. They have the facilities, they have the experience to do that. But we also have some terminals that just handle breakbulk. So we have one terminal, the Pasha terminal, that handles steel that's imported from South America and Mexico. And that moves on-dock rail to a facility about an hour away from here where it's melted down and shaped into pipes and so forth. We also have some steel coils that come in at that facility. And we also have a scrap metal facility. So they primarily do export of scrap. So all the things that we use after we're done with them, the cars, TVs, washer and dryers, they go to this facility, they get crushed and actually put on a ship and moved to export through this breakbulk facility called SA Recycling. In addition, we have auto handling facilities, so we have imported cars that come in from primarily Japan for Nissan and Infiniti, and that calls at one of our terminals called WWL. So we have those facilities there. And during our winter and South America summer, we also have a fruit dock facility. So fruit comes in from South America during our winter months, and we get all the summer fruits, and that comes into our breakbulk facility as well.
Great. So one of our followers asked about the Port Optimizer. Can you touch on that?
Absolutely. We're very proud of the Port Optimizer. It's an initiative that the Port of LA has been involved with. A few years back, our executive director and I were back at Washington, D.C. on an FMC committee. And one of the things that was in that committee, we had stakeholders as far as cargo owners, railroads, shipping lines. One of the things that we were hearing from the stakeholders is information. There was a lack of information and having that visibility of information. So we came back and the Port of LA put out an RFP that we wanted to do a pilot program of how we can get information to the supply chain and provide that information in one single portal. So we did an RFP. The winner of that RFP was GE Transportation. Now they're called Wabtec. We did a pilot at 2 terminals. We did it at APM terminals, actually 1 terminal, APM terminals, and 2 shipping lines, which was MSC and Maersk. And what we did is we got the information as soon as the ship departed Asia, so that's 14 days in advance, put that information into a portal, and then have the supply chain look at what's coming in and prepare themselves for the cargo coming in. So it was information for the chassis providers, information for the railroads, information for the trucking community to know what's coming in and being prepared 14 days in advance. So we saw that to be successful in our pilot, and we went back to GE and we added some additional funds in order to spread that out to all the shipping lines and all the terminals in San Pedro Bay. So what we're doing again is getting all this information, putting it into a single portal, because we heard from customers, and especially in LA Long Beach, they have to go look at 12 different websites to get information. We're bringing that all into one centralized location so that people can access the information of what's coming in, being prepared with chassis, being prepared with truck power. The beauty about this is that as a customer, as a cargo owner, you can look at all your cargo that's coming in, and it can be on multiple shipping lines at that same terminal. You can look at it in one view and not have to go to the different shipping line websites. In addition, as a trucking company, you can look at all the cargo you're picking up at that terminal, whether it's for cargo owner A or cargo owner B. They can see it all in one location. So it's the ability of one portal to being able to have visibility of cargo. So it's real-time information. As soon as the cargo becomes available, it's shown in this portal, And then eventually we're hoping we can get to a point where a trucking company can make an appointment in that portal, single portal, so they don't have to go to the different websites to make an appointment. So I'm happy to, any of your viewers or any of the people here in the audience, if you'd like more information on accessing the optimizer, happy to give you a demonstration of that and actually even give logons to the cargo owners so that they can have access to that.
Thank you. And then the other question they had was about inland infrastructure. What is basically being done for that?
Yes. So at the Port of LA and actually the Port of Long Beach, about a third of our cargo moves intact by rail to an inland location. So as I mentioned earlier, we have on-dock rail at all our facilities, which actually helps speed up the movement of cargo. But additionally, there's a near-dock rail facility that belongs to the Union Pacific Railroad, and that's called the ICTF, the Intermodal Container Transfer Facility. They do about 1 million lifts a year there, or have the capabilities of doing 1 million lifts a year. So that's one of our facilities that's on port property. Additionally, we are in the process of working with the BNSF to give them a facility right across the street from this other facility, also the ability to handle about 1 million lifts. It's met some obstacles with the environmental community as well as the legal community. We're actually working through those issues right now, and we're hoping to have an environmental document that satisfies everybody's needs by the end of this year, and hopefully construction will begin in about 2 years for that rail facility. So those are our near-dock rail facilities. On our on-dock rail facilities, as I mentioned earlier, we're looking to expand loading tracks as well as storage tracks for our customers so that they can continue to load cargo on dock. And additionally, we're talking to the railroads about looking at doing mixed trains. So having multiple destinations on one train, and then maybe them reworking it at a location inland that helps speed up the velocity of cargo through the port, through the terminals.
Great. And then security for cargo is becoming a major concern for people. Can you touch on that as far as what measures are being taken and stuff like that?
Yes, absolutely. The Port of LA actually is the most secure port in North America. We have about 120 officers that work directly for the port. And in that we have people that are doing patrolling, we have a dive team, we have a K9 unit, we have a drug and marine unit as well. And then with this group, we actually partner with other agencies. So the Sheriff's Department, the Highway Patrol, and also our Cargo Cats team, which actually watches for cargo theft and things like that. So we team up with all these agencies, and we work closely with them on ensuring that our facilities are safe. As far as cyber security, there's a lot of activity with cyber, and we get a lot of intrusions here at the Port of LA. So we figured we need to expand on that. So we're actually working with the shipping lines and terminal operators to have a pre-warning of any intrusions, and being able to get that information in and notify other terminals or shipping lines that there's a possible intrusion. And that way they can prepare and put their defenses up. So it's kind of like a neighborhood watch. So we're doing a neighborhood watch in that we're notifying others that there's a possible intrusion, so be prepared for that. So we're working closely with those agencies on that as well.
Okay,
as well as the federal government.
And then the final question is basically about customs and border protection, and basically what is being done for U.S. businesses.
Yeah, so as far as U.S. Customs, we don't deal directly with them on a day-to-day basis, but through our port optimizer, we're actually getting information of the manifest, and that's being fed into the optimizer, so we're working with Customs on that. And then we're looking at seeing how we can get ACE information into the port optimizer as well. So a lot of those things that are being worked on with Customs. As far as locally here, we work with them as far as when ships arrive, if there's any sort of inspections they need to do of cargo, or setting up as far as giving them the area that they need to do their inspection of cargo once it comes into the port as well. So we do work closely with them on that.
Great. And then where can our followers find you guys? What's the best way to get in contact? Your Facebook presence is amazing, honestly, but
yes.
Anywhere else that they can find you?
Yeah, we have a great media team, and they've done a great job on doing Facebook as well as Twitter. We have a website, portofla.org, that you can go to as well. And then we have a few folks from our marketing team here, so you can reach out to them as well. I'll give that phone number for the viewers. It's 310-732-3840. So hopefully if they have any other questions, they can call our cargo marketing team, led up by Eric Karras, and they can discuss further options with them.
Great. Well, thank you so much, Mike, for joining us. We really appreciate it. It was
You're
great.
welcome. My pleasure.
And thank you all for joining us as well. Have a great day.